Hey, how's it going, everyone? Hope you're all having a great day. So, ever since this whole coronavirus thing has, forced us all in lockdown, there hasn't been that much going on in boxing or in the boxing world right now. You had White getting knocked out by Povetkin, but the conversation surrounding that has sort of died down, and no one's really talking about it anymore. So, yeah, there isn't much to talk about. However, whenever I search up boxing on the web nowadays, really the only thing that ever comes up is the rematch with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. That second fight that happened. Now, I'm not a guy who likes to attack other fighters or their fan bases because I don't want to be a channel that really does that. I just kind of want to be a channel that reviews boxing and makes predictions and all that stuff. However, I feel like I have to call this out because I have never seen a rivalry between fans as big as the Wilder and Fury one. You go to the comments, these guys are crazy. I mean, you see them arguing in the comments so much, and it's basically all you find in these videos surrounding Wilder and Fury, or just boxing in general. Now, before I get into the sort of topic of the video, I just want to say that just the fanboyism in boxing has always been around for a very long time. That one fighter that has the largest amount of fanboys, has always really been Canelo. You look at both those Triple G fights. I'm not going to talk about this for a long time because I don't want this video to go on too long. But a lot of them were making stuff up. Anyone who watches those fights and knows anything about boxing knows that Triple G, he clearly was robbed. Not only the first fight, but the second fight as well. You go rewatch that one, a couple times, which I've, done to see if, anything changes my mind. Nothing has changed my mind. Triple G, he won both fights. And these fanboys were creating all these, delusional assessments of what happened, and just ignoring the facts that, Triple G, he outboxed Canelo both fights. On the first fight, he clearly won by, coming forward. And winning every single round after round 4. And the second one, he, was fighting on the back foot. And Canelo was the aggressor, and he still managed to outbox Canelo on the back foot. Anyway, moving past that, the Wilder fanboys and, the Fury fanboys managed to be just as toxic as the Wilder or as the Canelo fans. And yeah, probably even more than the, Canelo fans. Like, I'll give an example of both fights and how both fan bases reacted. But if you're a Wilder or Fury fan and you want to just instantly dislike this video, I just want to say if you support your fighter and nothing else, I don't have beef with that, right? In fact, I don't really have a problem with Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder or just their fans who just like them and want to support them. I have a friend who's a Tyson Fury fan, and I have no beef with that. Same with Deontay Wilder. This video is, referring more to the Fury fanboys and the LDBC who just love to make stuff up. I'm not saying like everyone in the LDBC, but most of them. That being said, let's start with the first fight. So, in the first fight with Wilder and Fury, that fight went 12 rounds, and it was ruled a split decision draw. Now, I'm probably in the minority when I say this, but me personally, I had Wilder winning the fight. And remember, I'm not a Wilder or Fury fan, alright? So this is my unbiased opinion. This is just how I saw it, I thought Wilder was jabbing to the body as well as, throwing and landing a lot of power shots on Fury. And I thought he did enough to take the W. Plus he got those 2 knockdowns, which is a factor. Now, I'm not saying it's a fact he won. I'm just saying that's how I saw it and, scored it. I think I had like 116 to 112, so it wasn't that far off. But it was ruled a draw, and I didn't have a problem with it because, like I said, it was close regardless. However, after the fight, these fans, the Fury fans, start going off on the internet and start attacking all these people, from Wilder fans to Anthony Joshua and his fans, and basically just anyone who isn't a fan of Fury and denies him winning. So they obviously thought his fighter won and was robbed. And they kept getting heated everywhere they went. Now, the fact these people said the fight was a draw is beyond me. Because if you actually go and watch that fight, like, go watch it and go, look at it in, multiple times and actually study it, Fury really wasn't doing that much. I mean, he was playing dance around the ring the whole fight and only engaged a few times. That's not how you take a title away from a champion. You go out there and you bring the fight to him. And Fury was only doing that at the last minute of the fight when, after he got knocked down, and it wasn't enough. Anyway. So in a way I was kind of relieved that, it was a draw, but these Fury fanboys started going off everywhere, and I don't know, it was really giving Fury a bad name because they were just getting really aggressive. Now fast forward to the second fight, and you have the exact opposite reaction. Fury brought the fight to Wilder this time and basically brutalized him the entire fight, and that made Tyson Fury the new WBC champion. Now after that fight, I could not believe the amount of excuses Wilder fans were making. Go look at every single Deontay Wilder channel, and you can see that every video on their channel consists of excuses after excuses for Wilder losing that fight. Like I said before, this is an attack on people who just like Wilder and that's it, and just support him without making these excuses. But when people start lying and making stuff up, I have no problem calling them out on it. So with this video, I thought I would, talk about some of these excuses people are making and just, debunk them. I'll probably break this video up in 3 parts because I don't want this video to go on too long. So with this, I'll start with the first couple of excuses. The first one, and this might be the most delusional one, is, even though they're all pretty delusional, is that Mark Breland's, Wilder's coach, he drugged Deontay Wilder's water bottle, and that's why he could barely walk. Yeah, Mark Breland. Yeah, Deontay Wilder's coach, who has been his coach for like half of his career, or most of his career. Yeah, he's suddenly just going to backstab him for money. Like, these guys are saying that he was paid off by Fury's team. Like, what? Anyway, to debunk that, there's no actual evidence of that happening. Plus, he would have done drug tests after the fight, and nothing happened with that. So there you go. That's debunked. Like, they would have found something in his body, because that's what they do. You take drug tests before and after, or mostly after fights. But anyway. Okay, now the second excuse was that Wilder's trainer was paid to wave off the fight early. Another thing Mark Breland was paid to do. Like I said, it makes no sense whatsoever that he would suddenly just turn on his fighter. But also, anyone who watches that fight knows that Wilder was getting beaten really bad to the point where the fight probably should have been stopped earlier. Anyone who denies that is either biased or just, wasn't looking at the fight properly. Now, that's the second excuse people are making. Moving on to the third is the famous, Wilder's suit was the Wilder's suit was the reason he lost, the whole Power Ranger suit. Now, to be honest, that was a pretty sick costume, I'm not gonna lie. But, I mean, the excuse surrounding it is, just awful. Now, this one's easy to debunk. For numerous reasons. One, Wilder's a heavyweight who's 6'7", right? How many guys do you know that are 6'7", walking around at heavyweight? 40 pounds should be nothing for him. Yeah, I'm aware he's not the strongest heavyweight. I'd say Fury and Joshua are a bit stronger in terms of physical strength, but still, 40 pounds isn't that much when you think about it. Anyway, 2, Wilder had a couple days before to rehearse his ring walk and to see if it was too heavy. He either didn't do that, or it was for some reason he decided to do it anyway. 3, if you go to the Joe Rogan podcast, Wilder explains he trains in a 40-pound vest, right? Like he does 8K runs or stuff in it, but for some reason he can't walk to the ring, with that 40-pound costume on. Man, it's just... So there you go. No excuses surrounding that costume. I'm gonna split this end this part here. So if you want to go and see the second and third part, for the excuses, just go to my next video, and yeah, I'll see you then.